morning, everyone, and thank you again for joining us this morning. Again, I'm Tori Tebow. I'm a program manager with Efficiency Vermont. I've been involved with the EV dealer program since it was first created back in 2021. And as many of you are aware, this is the second iteration of this pilot program. So I want to welcome back returning participants as well as new participants, and thank you all for your interest in this program. So today I'm going to be going over program offerings and requirements. And so hopefully this will be a good refresher or opportunity to learn more about what this program is about. So just wanted to cover a few housekeeping items before we get started. All participants have been muted. If you have a question, please feel free to type it in the chat. And alternatively, you can use the raised hand function in Zoom and we can unmute you so that you can ask your question. I'll also be pausing at the end of each section to answer any questions that you may have. And there will also be plenty of time at the end of this session for Q&A. I have about 30 minutes of content, so that will should leave more than enough time to cover any questions that you might have. And lastly, just wanted to note that this session is being recorded so that we can share this content. We plan to post this recording so it's available for you to view later on. So with that, let's get started. So I'm going to begin with a brief introduction to Efficiency Vermont. And from there, we'll dive into the EV dealer program overview, where I'll be covering program benefits and requirements. So Efficiency Vermont is a statewide energy efficiency utility helping our state transition to a more affordable and cleaner future. We serve every county, town, and city in Vermont except the city of Burlington, which is served by our friends at the Burlington Electric Department. We help families, businesses, and institutions understand and make better use of their energy, from lowering the cost of heating and cooling in buildings to adopting efficient appliances like lighting and other technologies that drive down the cost of energy. Some of you may have even worked with us on an energy efficiency project at your dealership. Since the year 2000, we have helped Vermonters save $3 billion in energy costs and eliminated 13 million tons of CO2 emissions. By engaging up and down the supply chain, we work with partners to lower the cost of energy efficiency solutions through rebates, workforce development, financing options, and technical advice. We partner with distribution utilities, heating fuel suppliers, building trades professionals, manufacturers, distributors and retailers, and other energy service providers to save our customers energy and money. So our work has historically focused on energy efficiency in buildings, but thanks to legislation that was passed in 2020, our scope has expanded into the transportation sector as well. So we'll be talking more about that shortly. So to help connect customers with qualified and knowledgeable professionals to support their energy efficiency needs, we facilitate the Efficiency Excellence Network, or the EEN. The EEN is a network of independent contractors, designers, and other professionals who are committed to providing their customers with the highest level of professional energy efficiency services. The EEN creates benefits for network members and customers who work with them. EEN member benefits include leads and referrals from Efficiency Vermont, a business listing on Efficiency Vermont's website, technical training and support tailored to specific industries or trades, marketing and promotional support, and access to an account manager who serves as the member's main contact for Efficiency Vermont and facilitates proactive communication on program updates and other key information. In turn, customers get the benefit of working with professionals who are confirmed to be licensed and insured, committed to providing high-quality energy efficiency services. They're knowledgeable of Efficiency Vermont's programs and rebates. They're educated in their respective technology, and they're supported by Efficiency Vermont. So the EEN spans a number of different technologies and industries, and members represent different roles within the supply chain. So you can see those different groupings here. So we have contractors, designers and specialty services, and suppliers, retailers, and dealers. So each of these blue rectangles represents a specific EEN member group. Joining the EEN is free, and to join, members just need to meet the requirements for that specific group. So since 2021, the EEN has expanded to include electric vehicle dealers. So that's the green box that you can see in the lower right. So dealers who join Efficiency Vermont's electric vehicle dealer program will become members of the EEN as EV dealers. So you might sometimes hear us refer to the program as the EEN EV dealer program or Efficiency Vermont's EV dealer program. They're really one and the same. The EV dealer program is offered by us, Efficiency Vermont, and it's administered through our Efficiency Excellence Network. So I just wanted to take a moment to introduce you to the folks who support this program and whom you may engage with as a program participant. We have Cooper Thompson, Mark Kenny, Steve Casey, and Alex Fry. They're all account managers who support program participants. And when you join the program, one of these four will be assigned as your main point of contact and will be available to help with any program-related needs. And in addition, we also have Bryn Oakleaf, who manages the Efficiency Excellence Network. So you might hear from her from time to time as well. So before we go any further, I just wanted to clarify that EV refers specifically to a plug-in electric vehicle. So this could be an all-electric vehicle, also known as a battery electric vehicle, or it could be a plug-in electric hybrid. So I'll just pause to see if there are any questions before we move on to the next section.
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, Tori, but anyone, if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat or raise your hand, and we can unmute you during these pauses. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alex. So I'm going to keep going for now, but again, feel free to type those questions in the chat. So to provide some background and context to why this program exists, I thought I'd share this chart, which you may have seen before, which shows the number of electric vehicle registrations in Vermont. So as of January 2024, that number is up to 12,754 registrations. And so these are cumulative registrations, with nearly 60% of those as all electric vehicles and about 40% as plug-in hybrids. So as you can see, over the past 3 years especially, we're really starting to see exponential growth in this market, which is exciting. And there's a lot behind these numbers. You have customer awareness and interest in EVs increasing. More and more automakers are adding EVs to their lineup. You have federal, state, and local incentives that are available to support purchasing decisions. And you have many or even all of these elements coming together at your dealerships. So recognizing the important role that the Vermont dealer community plays in supporting EV adoption in the state, that's where the EV dealer program comes in. Our goal is really to help you prepare for the growth in this market. So the EV dealer program is, in essence, a network of new and used car dealers who are committed to promoting plug-in EVs and in turn have access to benefits that are designed to address some of the barriers and challenges with selling and servicing EVs, which I'll be going into more details on shortly. So as I noted earlier, some of you first joined the program during the initial pilot period from which was in 2021 to 2023. While this is the second iteration of this program, the program itself will look and feel pretty similar to the initial offering. And if you're wondering why we have these two program periods, the first program from 2021 to 2023 was intended as a 3-year pilot. And so last year, in 2023, we proposed to our regulators, the Vermont Public Utility Commission, that we continue the program for another 3 years from 2024 to 2026. So they've approved a 1-year extension, and we are actually currently working with them on an extension for the full 3 years. So at this point in time, the program will be offered through the end of this year, but we're hopeful that in the next couple of months, we'll be able to announce that the program has been extended for the full 3 years. But rather than wait and kind of, lose too much of 2024, we wanted to kind of get the program restarted so that we could continue to deliver these benefits and provide support. So the pilot program not only includes the EV dealer program, but also a statewide EV consumer awareness ad campaign, which is focused on increasing consumer interest in EVs. So like the EV dealer program, we ran the campaign for the past 3 years and plan to run it again this year and in 2025 and 2026 if approved. So Drive Electric Vermont is both the tagline and the main platform for the campaign, but Efficiency Vermont's website also contains helpful resources and information. So if the EV dealer program is focused on supporting the EV supply chain, the EV campaign seek to support demand for these vehicles. So together, these two complementary activities really aim to help drive the adoption of EVs in Vermont and bolster other EV initiatives underway, such as customer purchase incentives, the build out of the charging network, et cetera, and really help our state achieve its goals around greenhouse gas emissions reductions in the transportation sector. So let's dive into the EV dealer program benefits.
We do
There
have
a question?
here.
Yeah.
Stacy asked if there's EV registration data for Q1 of 2024.
Not yet. I believe that the data is available kind of once each quarter has closed. So it's since we're not quite done with Q1 yet, we don't have that data available yet. And I believe that that chart that I showed is updated on an annual basis. So I hope that helps.
Looks like we got one more question.
Sure.
Kim asked, last week they mentioned the campaign would not be having any TV ads. Is this still true?
That is true. Thank you for the question. So yes, the campaign will look and feel similar as well, minus the TV ads. We do not plan to run any TV ads this time around. All right, thank you for the questions, and I'm going to keep going. So I'll be going into more of these in each detail, but here's a high-level snapshot of the support that you can access through the program. So it will continue to feature at least one and hopefully two different types of incentives. So I'll be talking more about that in a little bit. A training component, promotional benefits for your dealership, and EV marketing support. And while it's not a direct benefit, the EV Consumer Awareness Campaign aims to drive public awareness of EVs and effectively increase consumer demand. So as such, it really is a complement to the EV dealer program. All right, so the EV sales incentive, this is a $400 incentive for each new or used EV that you sell or lease, and it's split between you and your sales staff. So you can receive up to 50 of these incentives per year. And when you join the program, you must opt into this incentive offering. So this means that it's optional for your dealership to participate in. So by opting in, you agree to inform your sales staff about the incentive and share at least half of the incentive with the salesperson who assisted the customer and track those payments for program reporting. So again, this is a direct incentive for your dealership and sales staff. It does not need to be passed through to the customer who purchased the vehicle. So as far as incentive eligibility goes, at a high level, the vehicle must be a newer use plug-in EV that is sold or leased during the program period. It needs to be registered in the state of Vermont and sold to a Vermont customer. And if leased, the term must be at least 24 months. And unlike the state of Vermont EV incentive program, there is no MSRP cap for this incentive offer. So here's just a quick overview of the incentive reimbursement process. So when you enroll in the program and opt in to this incentive, we'll provide a sales submission form that you will use to submit sales for reimbursement. So on a monthly basis, you'll fill out the form with your EV sales for the month and send it to us for review. And once we've verified the information submitted, we'll process your incentive. It's expected that you will share at least half of the incentive with the salesperson who supported the sales. We don't cut a separate check for the salesperson. So it's expected that you'll be doing that on your end. So here's a screenshot of the EV sales incentive submission form. It's a Microsoft Excel file. And each of these column headers is a required field for information that must be submitted for the vehicle. So we have the date of the purchase or lease, the sale type, whether it was new or used. If it was leased, we're looking for the term of the lease in months, the vehicle make, model, and year, the EV type. So is it an all-electric or a plug-in hybrid electric? The VIN, the zip code of the vehicle registration, and the name and email address of the salesperson who supported the sale. So we highly encourage you to submit sales on a monthly basis. So for example, for March sales, you'd be submitting this form around the first week of April once March is completed. And if you could, please submit this as an Excel file rather than a PDF. This really helps immensely to expedite incentive processing. And I also just wanted to call out that this form contains a second tab called the instructions and terms. So please do take a moment to review this tab. It contains the full suite of incentive eligibility requirements and the terms and conditions for this offer, as well as submission instructions. So really any questions that you might have, hopefully they can be answered by checking out this tab, but certainly if you have any additional questions, we definitely want you to reach out to us. So that's the EV sales incentive. And the other type of incentive that we've offered in the past is the EV readiness incentive. So this is intended to help with dealership EV investments, such as chargers and EV service tools. While we do hope to be able to offer this incentive again this year, it's not available yet, as our ability to offer this incentive really depends on a full 3-year program budget. We have limited program funding available. So as I mentioned earlier, we're waiting for confirmation from our regulators on what the program budget will be for 2025 and 2026. And so once we have this information, we'll be able to right size this incentive offering so that we can meet the needs of program participants. We're expecting this regulatory process to wrap up in April or May and hope to be able to roll out this incentive offer later this spring. So once it's available, we'll be sharing more information on project eligibility requirements and how to apply for this incentive. So more information coming soon. In the meantime, if your dealership is considering a project this year, such as installing a charging station, we'd love to hear about it. So that we can better understand your needs as well as provide technical support if that would be helpful to you. So beyond incentives, another program element is focused on training and education. So the EV sales training is both a benefit and a requirement. So this training covers Vermont-specific topics such as EV market trends, customer benefits, and customer incentives that are available at the federal, state, and utility level. So it's really meant to supplement any trainings that you might be getting through your automaker. At least 2 sales staff from your dealership must complete this training in order for this program requirement to be satisfied. We do welcome more than that. So if you have more staff that want to participate, the more the merrier. Please note that if your dealership was enrolled in the program between 2021 and 2023, and you currently have at least 2 sales staff who did complete the training the last time around, they don't need to do it again, and you can consider this requirement completed. That said, we welcome returning attendees, especially if you have new staff or anyone who's looking for a refresher. This is really open to anyone and everyone. So this is a virtual training. It's about an hour and a half long. And our plan is to offer it periodically, about 2 to 4 times a year, depending on the need, to help your dealership and staff keep up with this requirement, and also to share the latest information on various topics. For example, last year in this training, we included some information about the changes to the federal EV tax credit. So the next EV sales training will be offered on Thursday, April 18th at 9:30 a.m. So please save the date and keep an eye out for the registration link that we'll be sending out later on. And I also just want to note that we're always looking for ideas and feedback on topics that you'd like to learn more about. So please don't hesitate to share this feedback with me or with your account manager. We would really love to hear about how we can build out this program element to really make it valuable for you. So the program also offers several marketing and promotional benefits, some of which are open to all EEN members and some of which are specific to EV dealers. So EEN EV dealers are listed on Efficiency Vermont's Find a Pro tool for customers. So that's right on our website. So a customer can say that they're looking for an EV auto dealer and type in their zip code, and it'll pull up the list of dealers that are in their area based on program participants. There's also co-op advertising funding available. This is open to all EEN members. We're offering up to $1,500 annually for EV advertising, and also available to help support you with any messaging if that would be helpful. We also have EV marketing materials available for use at your dealership. I'll be going into detail on these on the next slide. And finally, EEN members are welcome and encouraged to use the EEN logo, and we have decals and marketing materials available for this as well. So here are some examples of the point of purchase materials. And if you are a returning participant, you might recognize these. You might have had some of these on display in your store. So as I mentioned earlier on, these materials were developed as part of the EV consumer awareness campaign. So it's sort of really the touch point between that campaign and this program. And they're meant to help point folks to resources and information to support their consideration of an EV. So the materials include brochures, table tents, some mirror hangers, window clings, and we have a hub that stands about 5 feet tall and holds the brochures. And as you might be able to see here, some of these materials have a scannable QR code for the Drive Electric Vermont website. So when you sign up for the program, we'll send you a form where you can order any of these materials, and then our team will deliver or mail them to your dealership. And if you've already signed up and you haven't received this form yet, please don't hesitate to reach out and we can help you get started with that. So that's it for program benefits. I'll pause for questions.
Yeah, we got a couple questions here, Tori.
All right.
Matt asked if the incentive for the EV sales incentive is for plug-in hybrids as well.
Yep. So the EV sales incentive is $400, whether it's an all-electric or a plug-in hybrid electric. Yep.
Thank you. We had one from Debbie. She asked, when can we expect to receive the forms as we have already enrolled into the program?
So if you've enrolled in the program, I've been sending out welcome emails that includes a link to where the EV sales submission form is. After this session, I'll send out an email to everyone here. I'll include the link as well as the attachment for that EV sales submission form so that you have it easy to find. So yeah, you can expect to get it after this session. We'll make sure everyone has it.
I think I can try and find that on our website and put in the chat. Um, Next question we have is from Stacy. How do we opt in for the sales incentive?
So when you sign the program agreement, there's a checkbox where you can opt in. So we'd be happy to kind of point you in the right direction for that or assist with that. But yeah, it happens during the point in time when you're signing the program agreement.
One more question um, from Stacy Tibu. Will there be changes to customer incentives and specifically incentives available for more expensive vehicles?
Um, I can't, so because this incentive offering is completely separate from customer incentives, I'm not aware of any changes that are happening. I know that there were some changes around, I believe, vehicle eligibility. But that is so the state of Vermont EV incentive program is separate from this program. So there are separate eligibility requirements for the vehicles. Those requirements do not impact the EV sales incentive offered through this program. I'd be happy to in our follow-up from this session, just provide links or resources to the customer incentive programs so that you have kind of the latest information on that.
Thank you. We have one other question. If we did not opt in for the sales incentive on the dealer agreement, can we go back and do so now?
Yeah, we'd be happy to help you with that.
I think I'm not seeing any questions coming at the moment.
All right. So we're going to move on to program requirements. So to be eligible to join the EV dealer program, dealers must be registered as a new car dealer or a used car dealer with the Vermont DMV and operate in the state of Vermont. If you're a new car dealer, you must have at least one EV in your model lineup. And we expect that dealers must actively sell EVs and maintain EV inventory as demonstrated through historical sales data. I'll be speaking more to that in a few minutes. And if you're new to selling EVs, really the idea is that you will have EV inventory readily available in the future and provide a statement on the actions that you are taking or plan to take to maintain inventory. This requirement really speaks to the program goal of developing a network of dealers who are committed to promoting EVs. So in practice, that means that you should actively sell EVs and have inventory available. And finally, to enroll in the program, you must sign the program participation agreement and comply with the terms and conditions of the program, which I'll cover in the next slides. So the program requirements are fairly simple, and some of which we've covered already. So first, you must maintain your enrollment in the program for the duration of the program in order to receive program benefits. So sort of what that means by extension is these benefits, the incentive offerings, trainings, et cetera, are only for dealers who have joined this program, sign the participation agreement. So you must be a participant in the program to have access to those benefits. As previously discussed, you need to have at least 2 sales staff complete the EV sales training. And this is waived if you currently have 2 staff who have completed this training. Historical sales reporting. So we're asking that dealers who join the program provide historical monthly EV sales data dating back to 2019 or whenever you began selling EVs, if that was later than 2019. And again, the next slide, I'll be talking about this in a little more detail. But we'll just note here that this is also waived for returning participants. Next, the EEN EV dealer program represents a network of dealers who are ready and willing to discuss EVs with their customers and support their car shopping journey. So as we've covered earlier on, joining the EEN as an EV dealer means that you commit to this mission and to promoting EVs to your customers. And finally, by joining the program, you agree to participate in the program evaluation activities such as surveys or interviews and reporting. And as this is a pilot program, these evaluation activities are a key part of understanding the program's impact and making improvements so that we can deliver the greatest value to participants. So your feedback is really important to us. And I just want to take a moment to thank those of you who have already, over the years participated in various surveys or interviews that we've conducted to kind of better understand the program and how it can be improved, as well as that our regulators have conducted as part of a program evaluation. So we really appreciate your time and your feedback. It is really important for us to be able to continue to offer this program to you. All right, so I've mentioned it a couple times. Historical sales reporting is facilitated through this worksheet that I have here on the screen. So as I mentioned earlier, this is waived for returning participants. So if you are returning, you did not receive, or you should not have received this worksheet with the participation agreement package that was sent via DocuSign. And if you're a new participant, you should have received this worksheet. So with this worksheet, we're looking for the monthly quantity of EV sales or leases since 2019, or whenever your dealership started selling EVs. And there's a separate table for new EVs and used. Excuse me. If your dealership doesn't have an EV sales history, there's a space to provide a brief statement on the actions that you're taking or that you plan to take to begin to maintain EV inventory, and program enrollment will be subject to Efficiency Vermont approval. This worksheet must be completed and submitted with a signed participation agreement. And just a quick note that any incentives provided through this program may be considered taxable income. So I'll just pause for a moment. This is an excerpt directly from the program agreement, but also I always just want to acknowledge it upfront. So I know that many of you have already signed the 2024 participation agreement in the past week or so, or are in the process. So if you haven't yet and you're interested in signing up, you can request an agreement by contacting EEN at efficiencyvermont.com, and our team will help you get started. So I'm just going to go right into the next slide. It's my last slide before we open it up for Q&A. So I just wanted to highlight, and as I've mentioned before, that there are several other Vermont EV programs that your dealership can participate in, and these are separate from Efficiency Vermont's EV dealer program. So these programs allow participating dealers to pass through customer incentives or tax credits at the point of sale, and they include the State of Vermont Incentive Program for New EVs, which is administered by the Center for Sustainable Energy, the Mileage Smart program for used EVs, which is offered in partnership between the State of Vermont and Capstone, EV incentives offered by Burlington Electric, Green Mountain Power, and VIPSA, and the IRS tax credits for new and used EVs. So I just want to recognize that your dealership may be participating in a couple or even all of these programs, and acknowledge that it can get confusing to remember the various requirements for each program as they differ from one another. And each of these programs has its own program agreement and reporting interface through which you're submitting sales or customer information. So a key difference with the Efficiency Vermont EV dealer program is that the incentives for this program are really for you, the dealership. not the customer. So you do not need to pass through these incentives. And so I just want to emphasize again that this program is separate from these other customer EV incentive programs, which are administered by other entities. If you're interested in participating in any of these other programs and you're not already, we can always help point you in the right direction to get started and signed up. Because again, many of these programs, you can become a participating dealer to pass through those customer incentives at the point of sale. So that is just sort of my last note there. And that's it. So we hope that this program will be of interest to you and that you'll find value in participating. We're really looking forward to working together with the Vermont dealer community again for the second time around to continue to accelerate the adoption of EVs in the state. We hope that the benefits and support offered through this program are compelling and that they help prepare your dealership for what is expected to be significant growth in the EV market over the next several years. So with that,